Red Hat Enterprise Linux derivatives are Linux distributions that are based on the source code of Red Hat Enterprise Linux. History: Red Hat Linux was one of the first and most popular Linux distributions. This was largely because, while a paid-for-supported version was available, a freely downloadable version was also available. Since the only difference between the paid-for option and the free option was support, a great number of people chose to use the free version. Red Hat made the decision to split its Red Hat Linux product into two, Red Hat Enterprise Linux for customers who were willing to pay for it, and Fedora that was made available free of charge but gets updates for every release for approximately 13 months. Fedora has its own beta cycle and has some issues fixed by contributors who include Red Hat staff. However, its quick and non-conservative release cycle means it might not be suitable for some users. Fedora is somewhat a test bed for Red Hat, allowing them to beta test their new features before they get included in Red Hat Enterprise Linux. Since the release of Fedora, Red Hat has no longer made binary versions of its commercial product available free of charge. Motivations: Red Hat does not make a compiled version of its Enterprise Linux product available for free download. However, as the license terms on which it is mostly based explicitly stipulate, Red Hat has made the entire source code available in a PM format via their network of servers. The availability of the complete source code of the distribution in a PM format makes it relatively easy to recompile the entire distribution. Several distributions were created that took Red Hat's source code, recompiled it, and released it. Features: the Red Hat Enterprise Linux derivatives generally include the union set, which is included in the different versions of RHEL. The version numbers are typically identical to the ones featured in RHEL. As such, the free versions maintain binary compatibility with the paid-for version, which means software intended for RHEL typically runs just as well on a free version. Relatively few changes need to be made to the distributions. However, RHEL used to use Red Hat's own up-to-date technology for providing updates. For convenience, several of the free alternatives ship with YUM replacing up-to-date, something that makes providing mirrors for upgrades significantly easier. Red Hat Enterprise Linux 5 and above releases use YUM as their native system for providing updates, with up-to-date being just its front end. Legal aspects: free redistributions are expressly permitted by the GNU General Public License upon which Red Hat's distributions are based. 1. However, to avoid misrepresentation of Red Hat's trademark, material in the original distribution covered by the trademark must be stripped off or removed from the redistribution. Where distributions have not been deemed sufficiently thorough in removing references to Red Hat, they have received warnings from Red Hat's legal counsel. CentOS received such a notice seeking to have it remove all mention of Red Hat's asserted trademarks from their website and their distribution. CentOS previously referred to Red Hat as the upstream vendor, or more formally, as a prominent North American enterprise Linux vendor. List of Red Hat Enterprise Linux derivatives: the following are listed by DistroWatch as being among the top 100 most popular distros for the past 12 months, as of December 2010, and verified again in September 2013. CentOS, Rosa Enterprise Linux Server, 3, 4, 5, Scientific Linux, ClearOS, Oracle Linux, requests registration, with personal information and agreements, but does not require payment to download or deploy. Payment is required for support. Appliance-oriented derivatives based on RHEL, Google Search Appliance, derived from CentOS, Cisco Unified Communications Manager, VMware ARESX's Service Console software, Amazon.com Amazon Linux AMIRHEL5/RHEL6 Userland with a Linux Zen kernel, lesser-known distros, Springdale Linux, number 161 on DistroWatch as of 2013, ROX Cluster Distribution, derived from RHEL and CentOS, number 186 on DistroWatch as of 2013, Fermi Linux, aka Fermi Scientific Linux, derived from Scientific Linux with additional software specific for the Fermilab research facilities, number 231 on DistroWatch as of 2013, SME Server, derived from CentOS, number 235 on DistroWatches of 2013, CERN Linux, aka CERN Scientific Linux, derived from Scientific Linux with additional software specific for the CERN research facilities, CentOS Linux, Startcom Enterprise Linux, BullsX BAS or BULLX, Ascendos, Inspert KUX, certified to the Open Group's Unix 03 standard. Distros which have ceased production, Pibox Enterprise Linux, no longer operating as of August 1, 2009, Linux, Tau Linux, 4.0 i386 final release available on April 20, 2005. 3.0 update for available on January 10, 2005, ceased production on June 14, 2006. The website includes instructions for updating to CentOS for continued updates. XOS Linux, ceased production in 2008. The website includes instructions for updating to CentOS for continued updates. CAOS Linux, Yellow Dog Linux, White Box Enterprise Linux, no formal announcement but no longer actively developed. See also, commercial products based on Red Hat Enterprise Linux, long-term support. References. External links. Revisiting RHEL clones, Rel Forks.